Folks have been tagging me nonstop in that video involving the Nanaimo RCMP officer arresting an entire vehicle full of people for a package of cigarettes, an empty package of cigarettes that wasn't stamped. And I watched the video. The officer arrests I believe it's 4 occupants of the vehicle under the Excise Act for possession of unstamped tobacco. And a lot of people are wondering, is this legal? And the answer is, yeah, it probably is. First of all, the Excise Act is a federal piece of legislation that governs different substances. It includes alcohol, tobacco, cannabis, and the importing and exporting and production and manufacturing rules around those things, specifically so the government gets its tax revenue. Excise. And one of the rules in the Excise Act is that any tobacco product, with a couple exceptions, very limited, but they didn't apply here, must be stamped with an excise stamp showing that the tax has been paid by the manufacturer and the purchaser is also paying the appropriate tax when they purchase it. It is an offense under the Excise Act to possess a tobacco product that is not stamped. It is also an offense under the Excise Act to receive a tobacco product that is not stamped. Now, a bunch of people are upset because the tobacco container was empty, and they would think that this means there's no basis to arrest the occupants of the vehicle, but that's not necessarily so. In order to effect an arrest, a police officer has to have reasonable grounds to believe that somebody has committed or is committing an offense under the Excise Act. If they see somebody, even with an empty package of cigarettes that doesn't have a stamp on it, there's certainly a reasonable enough basis, I would think, to arrest people for the possession or the receiving offense, especially because under the Excise Act, police also have the power to get people out of a vehicle and to search a vehicle if they believe there's an offense being committed under the Excise Act. So the arrest can happen because they may still be in possession of the cigarettes, even though the cigarettes aren't actually in the container. One container may indicate the presence of other containers in the vehicle, or the person is generally engaged in this activity. They have the additional power to search the vehicle. So that could certainly arguably justify the arrest. And the other issue that people have is that why was everybody in the vehicle arrested when there was only one container? It couldn't possibly belong to everybody. But that's not actually true. The way possession is defined in Canadian law is not that it must actually belong to a person. Just because I own a stuffed panda that's across from me doesn't mean that somebody else can't possess my stuffed panda. Possession requires 2 factors. Number 1, knowledge, and number 2, control. Where there is an unstamped tobacco package in plain view in a vehicle with 4 occupants, all of those occupants presumably have knowledge of it because it's in plain view, and also have control over it in that they're in the vehicle. They have the ability to exercise control over it. They can pick it up, they can throw it out, they could distribute it, they could do something with it. So they have knowledge and they have control, which makes them technically all in possession of it. It's very common to see police arrest all of the occupants of a vehicle for possession offenses involving things like firearms, involving drugs, involving other things you're not supposed to have, and sort out who may actually be responsible for it after the fact. And oftentimes, if there's something found in a vehicle, everyone in the vehicle can end up charged, even if only one person is actually, technically responsible for it. Legally, everybody can be responsible for it because of those elements of knowledge and control. So that is my answer to all of the questions you've been asking me about the Excise Act arrest of the occupants of the vehicle in Nanaimo for the unstamped cigarettes. And a reminder that if you are in possession of unstamped cigarettes or anything else that might get you arrested, probably don't keep it in plain view if you were pulled over where a police officer could see it. Just a thought.